Tribe, I become invincible with my 10,000 times bonus from the start. Chapter 261, Kill the Guardian Deity. Ding, dong. The Goddess of Death has given you 9,999 needles of death. Ding, dong. As the system's voice fell, Li Cheng's soul suddenly felt an expression. The corner of Li Cheng's mouth twitched again. He really wanted to say that there was no need for this big sister to do this. However, thinking about it, the Goddess of Death probably felt like she had lost face. Because Universe Origin had used her Needle of Death against him, she gave 9,999 needles to Li Cheng as an apology. This meant that Li Cheng could instantly kill 9,999 mythical grade units. Li Cheng shook his head and smiled. He only took one needle and returned the rest. Such items would consume divine power. The Goddess of Death had just returned, so it was not the time to waste her divine power. He was only going against a mythical grade unit, so he did not need the help of the goddesses at all. Li Cheng could not be bothered to talk to them. He took out the Needle of Death from his backpack and threw it at the guardian deity in the sky. A black line suddenly flashed and two words appeared above the head of the guardian deity. Instant death. The next moment, the system's rumbling voice rang in the ears of all the players. Ding, dong. World announcement. The Universe Alliance's guardian deity has been killed. As punishment, the attributes of the players from the Universe Alliance will be permanently reduced by 30%. Ding, dong. World announcement. The guardian deity of the Universe Alliance has died permanently. He will no longer appear in future alliance battles. Ding, dong. As the system's voice fell, the entire battlefield became deadly silent. How is this possible? How can the people of the Divine Dragon Alliance also have the Needle of Death? How can the guardian deity die instantly? This doesn't make sense. We need a redo in this trash game. F***ck, this debuff doesn't have a time limit at all, does it have to be effective all the time? Help, this netherworld is a cheat, how can we fight this? If the officials don't deal with this cheat today, I'll go to the entrance of the official building and start a riot. Bring me along, I'll go, too. I support you. The players of the Universe Alliance naturally wailed. This debuff had a very high reduction value, and there was no time limit at all. In other words, all players of the Universe Alliance will be permanently affected by this debuff. This was too unbearable. Li Cheng merely sneered and waved his hand. All troops, attack! Following Li Cheng's order, the huge army of the Divine Dragon Alliance instantly launched their attacks. Although the Universe Alliance troops had set up a defensive line, whether it was in terms of quantity or quality, the gap was too obvious. As soon as they came into contact, their defensive line collapsed instantly. Pearl had also brought an elite cavalry unit that had silently arrived. The encirclement tactic was always the best tactic to annihilate the enemy. In less than half an hour, there were very few surviving troops left from the Universe Alliance. Li Cheng looked towards the south and said to Pearl, "Lead the players and conquer the territories in the south. Be careful not to enter the territory of the Li Nan Kingdom. Also, move all the resource points within the territory of the Universe Alliance. Leave nothing behind." Roger. Pearl nodded and immediately went to complete his orders. As for Li Cheng himself, he once again led his troops towards the capital of the NPC Kingdom in the south. The strength of the Li Nan Kingdom and the Kingdom of Gold were about the same, so it would not be that troublesome to deal with them. However, when Li Cheng entered the territory of the Li Nan Kingdom, a group of figures appeared before him. The leader was a man dressed in black. After seeing Li Cheng, he respectfully knelt to the ground and said, "Respected Grand Duke Netherworld, we're willing to become the vassals of the Kingdom of Kent." Li Cheng looked at the man whose head was almost stuck to the ground. He was also slightly surprised. He did not know who was opposite him, so he immediately cast a scouting spell. General Ricky. Description: the Grand General of the Kingdom of Li Nan. He commands all the troops in the kingdom and is the #1 person in the king's army. This person seemed to be the Grand General of the Li Nan Kingdom. He was similar to a general marshal who could nominally command all the kingdom's troops. Seeing this, Li Cheng was a little curious. Was the Li Nan Kingdom always so soft? He asked curiously, "Oh? Aren't you guys going to resist?" The Grand General immediately said, "The king has heard of your unparalleled divine techniques. How would we dare to resist?" Hearing this, Li Cheng sneered. He believed that there was really a ghost spreading such nonsense. These people were not strong, but they were more skilled at plotting and scheming. If they were to fight him head-on, Li Cheng would have looked up to them, probably even respect them as heroes. Sure enough, in the next moment, a terrifying ball emitting a strange light appeared in the general's hand. His face was solemn as he roared, "Damned intruder, your actions have been known by the gods. Now, accept your judgment." Seeing the terrifying energy contained within the sphere, Li Cheng cast a scouting spell. Destructive Bomb. Description: a bomb that combines the divine power of the god of destruction. Once released, it can destroy the world. Level 1. Grade: Immortal. Effect: causes 500 billion non-elemental magic damage to all units within 50 million yards. Looking at the attributes of this bomb, it had to be said that the Immortal-grade bomb had a very high damage value. 500 billion damage was enough to instantly kill a Mythical-grade boss. However, Li Cheng was not worried at all. He even yawned. If it was physical damage, he would need to make a move. However, magic damage had no effect on him. The destruction bomb exploded. Boom! 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 An earth-shattering explosion was heard. The entire ground shook. In the next moment, countless numbers appeared above the heads of Li Cheng's troops. -1. -1. -1. Li Cheng dug his ears and sneered. He looked at Moon City, which was not too far away. It was the capital of the Li Nan Kingdom. We don't have to kill all their units. The goal is to destroy all their production buildings and move all their resource points away. After destroying all the production buildings and moving all the resource points away, how could a kingdom still function after that? In just a few days, they would all starve to death. Hearing Li Cheng's orders, the three heroines accepted the command and rushed toward the south. Chapter 262, Destroy the Country. Immortal-grade Title Destroyer. As the three heroines left, the system's voice suddenly rang. Ding, dong. World announcement. Divine Dragon Alliance player Netherworld has successfully killed the king of the Li Nan Kingdom. Prince Chuanfu has temporarily become the acting king. Ding, dong. World announcement. Divine Dragon Alliance player Netherworld has successfully killed the king of the Li Nan Kingdom. Prince Ryan has temporarily become the acting king. Ding, dong. World announcement. Divine Dragon Alliance player Netherworld has successfully killed the king of the Li Nan Kingdom. The kingdom no longer has a legitimate heir. Ding, dong. World announcement. The Li Nan Kingdom has been usurped by General Charles. The system's voice kept ringing non-stop. Li Cheng's goal this time was very clear: to completely destroy the Li Nan Kingdom. That was why his troops did not show any mercy and all kinds of buffs were instantly activated. As for the royal family of the Li Nan Kingdom, they were only the first targets of Li Cheng's crusade. Half an hour later, the system's rumbling notification finally rang. Ding, dong. World announcement. It has been detected that the total number of troops of the Li Nan Kingdom is less than 100 billion. This does not meet the conditions of establishing a kingdom. The Li Nan Kingdom is automatically destroyed. Ding, dong. World announcement. Divine Dragon Alliance player Netherworld has successfully destroyed the Li Nan Kingdom. As the first player to destroy an NPC kingdom in the world, you will be rewarded the Mythical-grade title, Destroyer of Kingdoms. You have also gained 100,000 reputation points. Ding, dong. You've triggered a 10,000 times increase and obtained the Immortal-grade title, Destroyer of Kingdoms. You've also obtained 1 billion reputation points. As the system's voice fell, the entire world was once again shocked. This netherworld, isn't he too ferocious? He conquered 2 NPC kingdoms in one day. I sensed that something was wrong from the first day of the server opened. There's definitely something wrong with this person. It hasn't even been half a month since the server opened. How can he possibly defeat an NPC kingdom? This is the destruction of an entire country. How much hatred does he have in him? Too terrifying, such a person definitely cannot become an enemy. Haha, those that joined the battle against him in the shadow world last time must be scared right now, right? Hehe, I'm very far from the Divine Dragon Alliance. There are dozens of alliances separating us. If Netherworld has the ability, come and kill me. Tisk, tisk, tisk. This time, the Universe Alliance is completely finished. What a pity, they were considered one of the stronger alliances in the game. The players who were watching the alliance battle shook their heads and sighed. No matter which side they were on, they all came to the conclusion that the Universe Alliance was finished. As for the Universe Alliance players, when they heard the system notification, their faces turned pale. Of the 2 NPC kingdoms within the territory, one had been completely annihilated, while the other had become a vassal. It was fine if they could not receive any quests, but now, the Kingdom of Gold was chasing after the players from the Universe Alliance. How could anyone else play with them? On the other hand, the players from the Divine Dragon Alliance could receive quests from various human kingdoms, various church quests, and empire quests. The gap between them was simply too great. Moreover, what was even more terrifying was that Pearl was extremely busy moving all the resource points of the Universe Alliance one by one. Before long, all the resource points within the Universe Alliance would be gone. At that time, there would be no resources output within their own territory and the local kingdoms would still be in a hostile state toward them. They would have no way of obtaining resources, no source of food. All their troops would starve to death and the entire alliance would not even be able to feed a single unit. Even if they had money, they would have to keep paying. Currently, the entire alliance's trading hall had not even opened yet, and now, they had nothing to sell. As a result, the Universe Alliance was truly finished. All the players of the Universe Alliance had despair on their faces. In such a situation, even deleting their accounts would be useless. The game's official website was directly bound to individuals, so there was no solution. At this moment, the voice of the system was still ringing in Li Cheng's ears. Ding, dong. News of you destroying the Li Nan Kingdom has spread throughout the entire Lost Continent. The attitude of countless gods toward you has undergone a new change. Ding, dong. The Church of Light has issued a serious warning to you. The next time you declare war on an NPC kingdom, they might forcefully intervene. Ding, dong. The Church of Justice has issued a serious warning to you. The next time you declare war on an NPC kingdom, they might forcefully intervene. Ding, dong. Ding, dong. The Church of Moonlight has issued a warning to you. The next time you declare war on an NPC kingdom, please take the initiative to contact them. Ding, dong. The Church of War has condemned your actions. They hope that the next time you declare war on an NPC kingdom, you can call on them. Ding, dong. As the system's voice fell, the corners of Li Cheng's mouth twitched. The destruction of a country would naturally attract the attention of the various large churches, and the attitude of the various large churches toward such matters was similar. For example, the Church of Light and the Church of Justice had practically already issued their final ultimatums. However, looking at the last 2 notifications, Li Cheng wanted to say, "Are you guys serious?" Li Cheng rolled his eyes. The Moonlight Goddess always had an ambiguous attitude towards him. He could not figure out what she was thinking. The god of war naturally wanted Li Cheng to start a bigger war. To him, it would be best if the entire continent's kingdoms started a war. Thinking of this, Li Cheng shook his head. He could not be bothered with the thoughts of the major churches. He checked the attributes of his new title, the Immortal-grade title. It was probably going to be good. Destroyer of Kingdoms. Description: this title records the story of how you defeated a human kingdom within half an hour. Your title and bloody deeds have already spread throughout the entire lost continent. Grade: Immortal. Level: 1. Effect 1, damage to all NPC kingdoms has increased by 1000%. Effect 2, morale of all NPC kingdom units when fighting with you is decreased by 100. Effect 3, for all NPC kingdom units, the probability of surrender, mutiny, and escape is doubled. Looking at the attributes of this title, Li Cheng felt that it was pretty good. First, there was a large increase in damage, directly increasing the damage by 10 times. However, Li Cheng felt that his current damage had completely overflowed. He had not paid attention to his damage values for a few days now. Nevertheless, the effects of the last two attributes were still pretty good. In Tribe, the highest morale of the troops was 200. In the future, when the NPC kingdoms and Li Cheng fought, the morale of the troops would be directly reduced by half. This was not a small number. The third attribute was also the one that surprised Li Cheng the most. Surrender, mutiny, fleeing. No matter which one it was, the other party would directly go to battle. In short, this title could be said to be the nemesis of NPC kingdoms in the future. It would be countless times easier to face them. Chapter 263, Complete Victory, Challenge the Ancient Ruins. After closing the system interface, Li Cheng let out a long sigh. He no longer needed to worry about the situation of the Alliance battle anymore. The Universe Alliance was not able to organize any defensive forces now. As time passed, the Alliance battle continued until late into the night before it was about to end. This was mainly because Pearl had spent a lot of time transferring the resource points. Li Cheng had already called his 3 heroines to help her increase her speed. When it was almost 3 in the morning, the system's voice suddenly rang. Ding, dong. World announcement. Currently, the territory of all Universe Alliance players has been destroyed. The Alliance War has automatically ended. The winner of this Alliance War is the Divine Dragon Alliance. Ding, dong. World announcement. As the winner of the Alliance War, all Divine Dragon Alliance players who participated in the Alliance War will be level up by 1 level and receive 100,000 basic resources. Ding, dong. World announcement. As the loser of the Alliance War, all Universe Alliance players' levels will be decreased by 5 levels, and territory levels will be decreased by 10 levels. Players will also receive the debuffed Shame of Failure. This will last until the next victory against the Divine Dragon Alliance. Ding, dong. War was always the fastest way to get rich, and in the Alliance War, what was plundered was the wealth of an entire alliance. The players who participated in the Alliance War were all rich. 100,000 basic resources per person. If this amount was added up, it would definitely be a terrifying number. Li Cheng was also slightly surprised. It seemed that in this Alliance War, the performance of the Divine Dragon Alliance was rated as perfect by the system. Of course, Li Cheng did not care about this. After confirming that all the resource points had been transferred, he set up a sub-gate of the astral portal in the city of the Sunday. The next step for them was to return home. The impact of the Alliance War had only just begun. Although the Alliance War had lasted only for a day, it had dropped a heavy bomb on the entire lost continent. One had to know that other than the Divine Dragon Alliance's 10 guilds, the Eagle Alliance was the only guild left in the other alliances. In other words, other than the Divine Dragon Alliance and the Eagle Alliance, the other alliances simply did not have the qualifications to start an alliance war. What was even more terrifying was that the Divine Dragon Alliance was completely one-sided in the battle against the Universe Alliance. The Universe Alliance was considered one of the strongest alliances, but in front of Li Cheng, they were as weak as bugs. In this alliance war, everyone had witnessed Li Cheng's strength. They had weighed their own strength and came to a unanimous conclusion: they were absolutely no match for Li Cheng. When they thought of this, all the alliances panicked, especially the alliances that were adjacent to the Divine Dragon Alliance. They were afraid that Li Cheng would think of them and launch another alliance war. If that really happened, they could only stretch their necks out to be beheaded by him. All of a sudden, the entire lost continent was filled with undercurrents. Countless alliances joined the Anti-Netherworld Alliance in an attempt to encircle the Divine Dragon Alliance. In the real world, in a mansion, a man with a flirtatious face and a beautiful appearance was furiously reading the report from his subordinate. Bang! He flipped the table over and roared furiously. "Get lost, Li Nan clan! You bunch of trash! I even gave you half of the group's wealth for safekeeping. Is this the excuse you're giving me?" After cursing a few times, the man collapsed into his chair dejectedly. In his heart, there was only one thought left. This time it's over, it's all over. As a postmodern national online game, Tribe had long surpassed any other game in history, directly affecting the real world. If the Universe Alliance was unable to gain a foothold in the game, their status would plummet in the real world and they might even go bankrupt. Where's Peerless Prideful? Where's Heartless War Soul? Contact them. I want that Netherworld to die. Whoever can kill Netherworld, I'll give him 10 trillion. The Universe Alliance's bounty quickly spread to the underground black markets of all the alliances. The entire world was shocked. It showed that they were going to use the entire financial group's power to kill a single person. This was a rare situation. When Li Cheng heard this news, he only smiled disdainfully. They still had hope in Peerless Prideful and Heartless War Soul? These two were busy with their own matters, each in a difficult situation. How could they have the time to care about other things? Li Cheng commanded the troops to rest. Then, he recruited a new wave of soldiers. After that, he walked into Lillian's bedroom openly. After waking up, Li Cheng gnawed on some roasted meat and opened his mission panel. The class trial required him to clear ancient ruins, the only hidden ruins in the game. Li Cheng instinctively felt the danger. It was only with his current military strength that he had the thought of trying it. Thus, he took out the ancient ruins teleportation scroll from his backpack and crushed it without hesitation. The system notification rang at this moment. Ding, dong. You're about to enter the ancient ruins. This secret realm is the only hidden one. You only have one chance to challenge it. Do you wish to enter? Enter. Li Cheng pressed the confirmation button without hesitation. A teleportation light flashed, and in the next moment, the scene in front of Li Cheng had already changed. In an endless desert, there was an extremely tall mage tower that pierced through the clouds. Looking at the mage tower in front of him, Li Cheng's pupils constricted. In the Lost Continent, only legendary great mages were qualified to build mage towers. Li Cheng now had a lot of interaction with Mage City, even if it was not good. Li Cheng had destroyed many mage towers himself, but he had never seen such a tall mage tower before. The one in front of him was hundreds of meters wide, and Li Cheng could easily estimate that its height was about thousands of meters. It was impossible to see the top of it, and people would believe it if it was tens of thousands of meters tall. This was not because of the construction technology. Mage towers had countless functions, and the taller the tower, the higher the energy needed to maintain it. As for the mage tower in front of him, it seemed that even 10,000 legendary great mages would not be able to control it. Therefore, Li Cheng was wondering what kind of existence could live in it. Could it be the goddess of magic? Then, Li Cheng shook his head. The goddess of magic definitely lived in her own divine kingdom. She would not appear in this place. Thinking of this, he led his troops and slowly approached the mage tower. Then, the system notification suddenly rang in Li Cheng's ears. Chapter 264, Profound Empire's Forbidden Mage Tower. Ding, dong. Young mage, welcome to the Forbidden Mage Tower. Ding, dong. Here are the contents of this trial. Climb up the tower, all the way to the peak. Ding, dong. As the number of levels increases, the enemies you encounter will also become stronger. Once you enter, you won't be able to leave unless you die. Please, choose carefully. Ding, dong. As the system's voice fell, the door of the mage tower slowly opened. Li Cheng took a deep breath and led his troops in. After entering, his pupils constricted as the scene in front of him suddenly changed. What appeared in front of him was an extremely vast area that stretched as far as the eye could see. From the outside, each level was only a few meters tall. However, when one looked up from the inside, one would see a blue sky and white clouds. This is spatial magic. Li Cheng had a certain level of control over the power of space. He instantly understood what was going on in front of him. Understanding it was one thing, but this was too ridiculous. The Mage Tower had at least thousands of floors. Could it be that every floor was imbued with spatial magic? If it was really as he thought, the magic power that maintained the tower would be extremely terrifying. At this moment, a group of blue orbs rushed toward Li Cheng's troops. Li Cheng looked over and cast a scouting spell. Magic Elf, Tier 7. Description: a pure magical creature, completely formed from magic energy. It was a very common Tier 7 soldier. It was not very strong, but this was just the first floor. Was this the starting level for the monsters in this tower? At this moment, seeing that the monsters were rushing toward him, Li Cheng casually ordered his troops to exterminate them. Ding, dong. Your troops have killed 1000 Tier 7 magic elves. Ding, dong. A killing notification rang. Ding, dong. You've cleared the first floor of the Mage Tower. The passage to the upper floor has been opened. As soon as the voice fell, a blue portal appeared in the center of the space. Li Cheng was also slightly surprised when he saw this portal, as he found that he could not obtain access to this portal. At this time, Li Cheng asked in his heart, "Goddess, what's going on?" There was no response from Li Cheng's soul. His question was like a stone sinking into the ocean. Li Cheng could not help but frown slightly. He could feel that he had completely lost contact with the main plane, and his direct contact with the goddesses had also been cut off. From this, it could be seen that the master of this mage tower was still very strong. Li Cheng did not hesitate and directly led the troops to the second level. The monsters on the second level were still magical elves, but there were more them this time. Li Cheng waved his hand. He was not surprised at all. The magical elves were exterminated in an instant, and then, the passage to the third level was opened. Li Cheng now understood the situation of this secret realm. It seemed that he did not need to lead his troops to climb up level by level. As the number of levels increased, the monsters he encountered would naturally be more difficult to deal with. However, all of this was not a problem for Li Cheng. 10 hours later. Ding, dong. You've cleared the 2998th level of the Mage Tower. The passage to the upper level has been opened. As the system's voice fell, Li Cheng let out a long sigh. The monsters on this level were Tier 13 Supreme Water Elementals, and they were especially difficult to deal with. The equipment slots of those max-level champion troops were filled with epic equipment, and there were more than 10 million of them. If it were low-level champion troops, they would definitely be overturned. Even for Li Cheng himself, some of the heavenly knights that charged too fast had triggered the resurrection effect. However, Li Cheng did not feel bad. With the goddess of death's highest blessing, all of his troops were exempt from death and could be resurrected in the Church of Death for free. At this moment, his gaze fell on the azure-colored portal. If I remember correctly, the notification just now said that this Mage Tower has a total of 3,000 floors and I'm about to reach the top. After muttering to himself, Li Cheng led his troops and slowly walked into the portal. As the light from the portal descended, and after seeing the scene in front of him clearly, Li Cheng's pupils instantly constricted. In front of Li Cheng were countless tall and huge profound puppets of all kinds, some of which Li Cheng had never seen before. He took a brief look at the lineup in front of him. 3 billion profound puppets. 1 billion toxic puppets. 800,000,000 magic puppets. 1,500,000,000 steel puppets. 300,000,000 maintenance puppets. These were all top-ranked soldiers, with a scale of nearly a billion. Their lineup was also very good. The front and back rows were complete, and there were even some puppets that Li Cheng could not recognize. At least in Ella's arsenal, there were no records of them. Like the magic puppet, which seemed to be made from a special magic fluid that made it immune to physical attacks. The maintenance puppet could restore the health of other puppets. In short, this puppet Amy in front of him was definitely a terrifying existence. What was even more ridiculous was that these puppets' equipment columns were actually filled with mythical-grade equipment. Among the most numerous profound puppets, there were actually 8 pieces of Immortal-grade equipment in their equipment columns. Even Li Cheng felt his scalp go numb when he saw them. If they were to fight, it would be hard to say what would happen. At this moment, a spherical device scanned Li Cheng's body, and a mechanical sound was immediately heard. Ding, dong. Brain scan. Ding, dong. Detected royal bloodline, all puppets are deactivated. Ding, dong. The portal to the upper level has been opened. After the system's voice fell, all the profound puppets slowly lowered their heads as the light in their energy-constructed eyes dimmed. Seeing this scene, Li Cheng heaved a sigh of relief. If this was a war, his troops would definitely suffer some loss. At this moment, Li Cheng came before the system and asked, "What is this place?" The system answered truthfully, "This is the Profound Empire's Forbidden Mage Tower. The current owner is the Empire's first mage, Featherfall." Chapter 265, The Empire's First Mage, Featherfall. Hearing this, Li Cheng frowned slightly. He had never heard of the Forbidden Mage Tower and the Empire's first mage, Featherfall. Even in his previous life, he had no recollection of these two things. Thinking of this, Li Cheng asked, "What happened?" The system replied, "There is no record in the database." Li Cheng took a deep breath, pointed at the many profound puppets in stand by, and asked, "Can I take these troops with me?" "I don't have the authority to permit that," the system replied quickly. Li Cheng continued to ask a few more questions, but he could not get any more information. These profound puppets were probably the last line of defense. Stationed here, it could be clearly seen that this mage tower had disappeared from the main plane for thousands of years. These puppets simply did not know what was going on outside. Li Cheng did not think too much about it. In short, there was no war, which was a very good result. Thinking of this, he led his troops to the teleportation gate. The top floor of the Mage Tower was just one floor away. Li Cheng. At this time, a mysterious fluctuation suddenly appeared in front of him. In the next moment, light green energy slowly took shape. Looking at this aura, Li Cheng was very familiar with it, but he could not be certain. As this Mage Tower had cut off all contact with the gods, and the identity of one of his goddesses was related to this place, Li Cheng tentatively shouted, "Ella!" Ella's small face was rarely solemn. She stared into Li Cheng's eyes and said, "Don't go up. There's a very terrifying existence up here." When he heard this, Li Cheng was also a little shocked. Ella was usually a joker. She had a hyper-personality, so it was very rare for her to have such a serious expression. "What's up there?" Ella was silent and did not speak. After a few seconds, she replied, "The first mage of the Empire, Featherfall." Li Cheng raised his eyebrows. "She's not dead yet." The profound empire had fallen for thousands of years. At this time, even a dragon would age. How could a human who had not become a god live for so long? Ella looked at the teleportation portal and said, "Of course not. Otherwise, who would be maintaining the Mage Tower?" Li Cheng shook his head. "I have to go. There's no turning back." He had climbed up so many floors and was about to reach the top, and now Ella suddenly appeared to tell him not to continue. If it were anyone else, they would not be willing to listen to her. Before entering the Mage Tower, the system had said that unless he died, he could not withdraw. Moreover, retreating at the last minute was not Li Cheng's style. Seeing Li Cheng like this, Ella immediately became anxious. "You're courting death." With her strength, even a god is not a match for her. "This place is outside the main plane. Your goddesses cannot save you here." Li Cheng nodded, but he only smiled and did not speak. Then, he rubbed Ella's head and led the troops into the teleportation gate. Ella was stunned. She was actually killed by the man in front of her? Thinking of this, Ella stomped her feet angrily. "Li Cheng, do you treat me like a child?" As Li Cheng led the troops into the portal, Ella's angry roar gradually disappeared from his ears. At the same time, the system notification rang. "Ding, dong. Warning. You've entered a special area. Please, proceed with caution." The light of the portal disappeared. Li Cheng looked at everything in front of him. The first thing he saw were countless huge bookshelves filled with all kinds of books. Li Cheng could not understand the words in these books. It was obviously the words of the profound empire. Then, at the end of the space, a young girl with her back facing him was looking into the distance. The young girl did not move at all, but Li Cheng could sense that she had already noticed him. Thinking of this, Li Cheng cast a scouting spell over Featherfall. Description: the first mage of the profound empire. Extremely powerful. She has been living in the Forbidden Mage Tower for thousands of years. No one knows what she is guarding. Grade: Immortal. Level, 200. Physical/magic attack. Defense. HP. Skills, 1. Li Cheng's pupils constricted when he saw the attributes. He had never seen an immortal-grade human before. Although one did not have to become a god to be immortal, it was the first time he had seen a human achieve that. At this moment, her voice drifted over. Defeat me, and these things will be yours. As soon as she finished speaking, the system's voice rang. Ding, dong. The trial content has been updated. Ding, dong. The current trial content is to defeat the Empire's first mage. Featherfall. Upon success, you'll receive the Mythical-grade Forbidden Mage's Robe, the Mythical-grade Forbidden Mage's Boots, the Mythical-grade Forbidden Mage's Gloves. Ding, dong. As the system's voice fell, Li Cheng was also slightly surprised. It was actually a complete set of mythical-grade equipment. Moreover, just by looking at the name, one could tell that this was a set of equipment that was highly compatible with his class. Its attributes were definitely not inferior to Lillian's set equipment. At this time, Li Cheng had all of his units get into formation, ready to attack. Suddenly, Ella caught up to him. Wait! Ella looked at Featherfall, who was not far away, and her eyes narrowed. Obviously, she had also seen Featherfall's attributes. She suppressed the shock in her heart and said, Sister Featherfall, let us leave. When Featherfall heard Ella's words, she turned around. Li Cheng wanted to see her appearance, but her face was covered by her long mage robe. Featherfall shook her head and said softly, That's impossible, Ella. Ella frowned and inconspicuously approached Li Cheng. She whispered, Li Cheng, before Featherfall makes a move, I'll take you to my divine kingdom. Hearing this, Li Cheng frowned slightly. Ella actually referred to the first mage of the profound empire in front of him as her sister. From this, it could be inferred that her position in the empire was pretty high. Right at this moment, the sound of palms clapping could be heard. It was the sound of Featherfall's two fair hands clapping lightly. The crisp sound reverberated throughout the entire top floor of the Mage Tower. At the same time, the voice of countless systems rang in Li Cheng's ears. Ding, dong. 240,000 of your frost marksmen have died. Ding, dong. 240,000 of your heavenly knights have died. Ding, dong. Your frost dragons. Ding, dong. Your golden dragons. Ding, dong. Ding, dong. Your goddess of death's suprema blessing has been triggered. L. Units will be resurrected in the Church of Death. Chapter 266, The Descent of the Shadow Dragon. As the system's voice fell, Li Cheng's eyes widened. All of his troops, including countless crown soldiers, were instantly killed. With just a clap of her hands, she instantly killed all of his troops. Li Cheng had never heard of such a terrifying ability. Perhaps even the goddess of death could not do that. At this time, there were only a few heroes left by Li Cheng's side, as well as Ella, whose small face was looking more and more solemn. Even Li Cheng was shocked now. He took a deep breath and asked with a frown, Ella, who exactly is she? Ella sighed lightly and said, the strongest mage in the history of the profound empire. She's proficient in all known spells and forbidden spells. Moreover, Sister Featherfall has killed many gods, at least 2 digits in number. Hearing this, Li Cheng's pupils shrank again. Killing gods with a mortal body? And killing 2-digit gods? Ella was anxious. She quickly said, Li Cheng, come with me. If we don't leave now, it'll be too late. At this time, Featherfall shook her head gently. Ella, I didn't ask you to intervene. Ella's small face instantly turned cold. Hee, you don't have the final say on this. Featherfall's gaze seemed to linger on Ella. She asked with some amusement. Even if you are going to die, you still want to interfere. Ella glanced at Li Cheng and nodded heavily. That's right. Featherfall chuckled. If you had seen this scene back then, it would have been very interesting. I didn't think the Princess Ella who hates men would go this rar Torenman. Hearing this, Ella's face turned red. She averted her gaze, not daring to look Li Cheng in the eye. She rarely looked like this. All of a sudden, a terrifying aura was released from Featherfall's slender body. The entire space was filled with an extremely dense and terrifying aura. At the same time, the system notification rang in Li Cheng's ear. Ding, dong. All your units have received the buff, Shudder. Ding, dong. The Phantom Goddess has removed your buff, Shudder. Ding, dong. As soon as the system's voice fell, an extremely terrifying aura clashed in the entire space. Featherfall and Ella instantly unleashed their auras. Li Cheng narrowed his eyes as he looked at Featherfall. This was the true ability of an immortal. At this point, Li Cheng broke out in a cold sweat. Featherfall was ridiculously strong. Cold sweat had also appeared on Ella's forehead. It was obvious that she was no match for Featherfall. Could it be that Li Cheng was going to lose this round? At this moment, an even more terrifying aura suddenly descended. At the same time, the system's voice rang. Ding, dong. Your hero, Shadow Princess Lillian, has used the skill, the Shadow Dragon's Descent. Ding, dong. On the top floor of the entire Mage Tower, a terrifying pale grey dragon that was thousands of meters long suddenly appeared. Li Cheng quickly checked Lillian's current attributes. Shadow Princess Lillian, Shadow Dragon Form. Description: when the Shadow World was bomb, it was just a small shadow. However, after tens of millions of years of fireworks, the shadow gained life. Under unknown circumstances, the shadow decided to appear in the form of a dragon. It was known as the Shadow Dragon. Grade: Immortal, Divine Power Level 18. Level: 200. Physical/Magic Attack: 9,850-1,000000000,000. Defense: 654 million. LHP 77. Skills: Shadow Source, Shadow Walk, Shadow Devour, Shadow Army. Terrifying Claw, Divine Power Shadow Prairie. Lillian's sudden change stunned both Li Cheng and Ella. The corner of Li Cheng's mouth twitched, but he was mentally prepared for this. After all, Lillian was different from Luna and Sylvia. She was an SSS class hero the moment she appeared. Whether it was her potential or her background, she was definitely stronger than the other two. As for Lillian's attributes under the Shadow Dragon's Descent, even Li Cheng was a little surprised. Her divine power level was at level 18. One had to know that the highest divine power was only at level 20. Generally speaking, those who reached level 19 were already the strongest in the universe. This was because no god had ever reached level 20. It was rumored that that was the realm of the god of creation. As for Lillian, her stats were close to the trillions. If she casually released a skill, Ella would probably die instantly from just a slap. Her HP was even 3 question marks. The Shadow Dragon shared its life with the entire Shadow world. It was not an exaggeration to say that it was infinitely large. At this moment, the most shocked and sorrowful person was Ella. After all, she and Lillian had known each other for thousands of years. They had a good relationship, and Ella was often beaten up by the shadow dragon. If that was the case, was she beaten up by her best friend? For a moment, Ella was speechless. Shadow dragon. After stuttering for a while, Ella bit her tongue. She never thought that her best friend of thousands of years was actually a shadow dragon. In the past, Ella merely thought that Lillian and the shadow dragon were related by blood. But now, Ella was confused. She wondered if she was hallucinating. After more than 10 seconds, Ella finally calmed down. She took a few deep breaths and asked, "Lillian, what's going on?" Lillian naturally ignored Ella. She was staring at Featherfall, who was full of energy. Featherfall also looked at the huge dark grey dragon in front of her and shook her head. A small dragon from back then has actually grown to this stage. Since you have the ability, let's fight then. As soon as she said that, an invisible fluctuation suddenly appeared on the tip of Featherfall's staff. Boom! The sound of energy colliding was suddenly heard. The entire Mage Tower seemed to be torn apart. At the same time, two extremely terrifying numbers appeared above their heads. -1,323 trillion. -2,394 trillion. Li Cheng narrowed his eyes slightly. It was obvious that Featherfall's attack was not a normal magic attack. Otherwise, Lillian would have received only a little bit of damage. Watching the battle from the side, Ella's mouth twitched. This number was too terrifying. Ella calculated that under such an energy collision, she would have been instantly killed. There might not even be any ashes left. She and the two gods in front of her were really not on the same level. It was a little ridiculous to think that she still vowed to protect Li Cheng. With Lillian in her shadow dragon form here, no one could hurt Li Cheng, no creature could. Chapter 267, 3 months. If you don't become a god, you'll die. After the first round of attacks, although Lillian received more damage, she remained unmoving. On the other hand, Li Cheng could see Featherfall's full chest undulating rise and fall slightly under her mage robe. It seemed that she had consumed a lot of energy. After a long time, Featherfall suddenly sighed and shook her head. "Forget it, with the shadow dragon protecting you, I can't kill you either. Since that's the case, it proves that your strength isn't so bad. You can obtain all of this." As soon as Featherfall finished speaking, the system's voice rang in Li Cheng's ears. "Ding, dong! You've successfully passed the trial and obtained the following rewards. The mythical grade set equipment containing the Forbidden Mage's robe, boots, gloves, belt, and leg guard. Ding, dong! Your Frost Marksman has been resurrected. Ding, dong! Your Heavenly Knights have been resurrected. Ding, dong! Your Frost Dragons have been resurrected. Ding, dong! Your Ding, dong! Ding, dong! Your level limit has been set." The system's series of notifications echoed in the room. Not only Li Cheng, Lillian, and Ella were also stunned. They were ready to fight to the death with the other party. Why did Featherfall suddenly give up? From the aura that she released, it could be felt that Featherfall was not much weaker than Lillian. Moreover, she merely clapped her hands once and all of Li Cheng's troops were resurrected. Everyone was shocked, but fortunately, the situation was finally resolved. Ella heaved a sigh of relief and looked relaxed. "Lillian, don't worry. She's never lied." Hearing this, Lillian nodded. "Ding, dong! Your hero, Shadow Princess Lillian, is extremely weak. Her attributes have been reduced by 99%. Duration unknown." As the system's voice faded, the huge dark grey dragon that blotted out the sky slowly disappeared. Lillian's slender body fell from the sky. Li Cheng quickly went forward to catch her. Lillian's expression was normal. She smiled and said, "I'm fine, my lord." Li Cheng hugged Lillian tightly and touched her head. "Rest first." Lillian only smiled sweetly and did not say anything else. She was not actually hurt, but seeing that Li Cheng cared about her so much, Lillian naturally did not reject him. After comforting Lillian, Li Cheng raised his head to look at Featherfall and asked, "What's going on?" Featherfall pondered for a moment and explained, "Have you ever thought that this world itself is made up of countless energies? By replenishing or extracting their energies, you can control life and death. This is also called life magic." Life magic. Li Cheng and Ella looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. They had never heard of life magic before. Even the goddess of life definitely did not have such power. At this moment, Featherfall's voice was heard again. Any power and aura will involve the use of energy. The so-called space rules, elemental magic, profound magic, and even divine spells are all the same. The end of it is the most taboo existence. This is also the legacy of taboo mages. Do you dare to be the enemy of the entire world? Hearing this, Li Cheng took a deep breath and said seriously, "What's there to be afraid of?" Featherfall smiled lightly. "If that's the case, then..." Before she could finish her words, she waved her slender arm lightly and a huge azure hourglass suddenly appeared in the sky. Within the hourglass was azure-colored quicksand formed by magic energy, slowly flowing downwards. After the blue hourglass appeared, Featherfall spoke again, "Within 3 months, you must become a go." At this moment, the system's voice rang in Li Cheng's ears. "Ding, dong! You've received the SSS class quest, Become a God or Die. Become a God or Die, SSS. Quest description: the Empire's first mage, Featherfall, requests that you become a god within 3 months. When that time comes, she'll invite you to the Mage Tower once again to have another conversation with her. Quest nature: only hidden. Quest difficulty: quest content: ascend to godhood. Quest reward." As the system's voice fell, Li Cheng was shocked. This time, the system did not ask if he would accept the quest. Did it accept the quest for him forcefully? The content of the mission seemed to be very simple. He had to become a god within 3 months. Ella, who was at the side, had been shocked speechless by Featherfall's words. Becoming a god within 3 months. Ella really wanted to ask Featherfall, "Do you know how difficult it is to become a god? Do you really think that all gods are cabbages that could grow just like that?" However, facing the first mage of the Empire who had killed countless gods, Ella swallowed her words. In Featherfall's eyes, gods were nothing special. At this time, Featherfall gently waved her hand and all of Li Cheng's troops were instantly enveloped by light. Their vision gradually blurred, and in an instant, countless teleportation lights fell. The entire magnificent Mage Tower became quiet again. In the next moment, the tower was suddenly enveloped by a burst of dazzling golden light. Then, time began to reverse. The Mage Tower that had been destroyed by Lillian and Featherfall seemed to be replaying in reverse like a movie, recovering bit by bit. At the same time, the creatures in the Mage Tower that had been cleaned up by Li Cheng also began to recover. Featherfall watched all of this with an indifferent expression. She gently raised her hand and took off her mage robe. Her slender and well-proportioned body instantly appeared, followed by a beautiful face that looked like a baby. After gold fluctuation, a slender golden figure suddenly appeared beside her. "How's their strength this time?" Featherfall lightly replied, "Very strong." The golden figure faintly sighed. "I hope so. Time and time again. Even I'm a little bored." Featherfall shook her head. "Bored? Just despair." Hearing Featherfall's words, the golden figure did not say anything. She merely looked into the distance quietly. Chapter 268, The Reason Behind the Fall of the Profound Empire. At this moment, Li Cheng had already returned to his own territory. At the same time, the system's voice suddenly rang. Ding, dong. You've completed your second-class trial. Ding, dong. You've comprehended a new skill, energy deconstruction. Ding, dong. You've comprehended a new skill, life deconstruction. Ding, dong. You've comprehended a new skill, elemental deconstruction. Ding, dong. Li Cheng was a little dumbfounded. Just what was hidden in this $SS class hidden class that had undergone a 10,000 times increase in power? How could it be so inconceivable? Li Cheng did not check on his new skills just yet. Instead, he carried Lillian and walked toward her palace. Lillian could not help but laugh. I'm really fine, my lord. I just can't use my power in the mortal plane for now. Li Cheng knocked Lillian on the head. Be good. Rest well. Lillian shrunk her neck and nodded. Okay. She was silent for a moment before saying, there are so many things I'll tell you everything in the future. Maybe it'll take decades. Okay. Li Cheng responded and continued to smile. Then let's talk about it for a few hundred years. Ella was also dumbfounded. At this moment, she was scratching her head in frustration. She looked like she was using quite a bit of force as if she was going to make herself bald. Her mood was also a bit chaotic now. Who was she? The phantom goddess. She was a god after all. How could she be forced to teleport? Ella could be sure that even if the space goddess was here, she would not be able to teleport her forcefully. If news of this was spread out, how would the phantom goddess continue to survive? Was this not too embarrassing? Li Cheng took a deep breath and let Luna and Sylvia, who were also still in shock, take the troops to rest. He glanced at Ella, who was about to rip her hair out, and rolled his eyes speechlessly. Li Cheng knocked Ella's head and asked, Ella, who exactly is this Featherfall? Ella cried out in pain and hugged her head as she said angrily, Li Cheng, you're getting more and more outrageous. You have to maintain respect for your goddess, understand? Li Cheng was rendered speechless. Maintain respect? Li Cheng nodded and then knocked Ella's head again. This time, he used quite a bit of strength. Ella instantly exploded in anger. She jumped up and wanted to hit Li Cheng's head. Then, with a bang, Ella's palm hit Li Cheng in the chest. Ella was stunned for a moment. Li Cheng was amused by her. She actually jumped up and hit his knee, right? She really was Ella. Li Cheng did not want to play with her anymore. He asked again, who is this Featherfall? Ella glared at Li Cheng fiercely, snorted, and then said slowly, Featherfall came to the Profound Empire when I was 16 years old. Her background's still a mystery. No one knows where she came from or where she was going. But she has a profound understanding of magic. She easily defeated all the great mages in the imperial court. From then on, she became the most mysterious existence in the empire. At that time, I only knew that she was building a very powerful mage tower. I actually didn't have much interaction with her. Li Cheng nodded thoughtfully and continued to ask, when you were 16, may I ask how many thousands of years ago it was? Hearing this, Ella instantly fell silent. She looked at Li Cheng with a dangerous gaze. Do you want to die? The corner of Li Cheng's mouth twitched. Why did women have such a big taboo about their age? What exactly happened in the Profound Empire back then? Is it time to tell me? Ella fell silent once again. Her expression was unprecedentedly serious. She did not answer Li Cheng's question but asked in return, do you know the levels of magic? Li Cheng nodded. There are very few people who mention it now, but I know that magic is divided into 10 rings. Ella continued, the Empire's first mage, Featherfall, suddenly announced one day that she had developed an 11-ring spell. Hearing this, Li Cheng was also shocked. An 11-ring spell? In his memory, a 9-ring spell was already the sealing of the entire lost continent, which was usually called a forbidden spell. After it was released, it would completely destroy the world. It had no problem in destroying an army of tens of millions of levels. A 10th ring spell was considered the most forbidden spell among forbidden spells. In Li Cheng's memories, there were a total of 2 10th ring spells. The first one was used by the Blade Hunters against the Frost Dragons, causing the entire Frost Dragon race to fall into madness. Sylvia's mother was forced to use the Dragon Soul. In the end, she died as she was extracting energy. As a result, Sylvia hid in the iceberg for thousands of years. The second version was a large version in the future. A vampire tried to use a 10th ring spell to completely destroy the Sunday. As for the result, it was unimaginable. 8th circle spell was an earth-shattering existence. As for the 11th circle spell, Li Cheng had never heard of it. Ella continued, under the supreme wisdom of Featherfall, the development of the spell was very successful. However, in the process of casting it, the entire world's magic network overloaded and collapsed. With the Mage Tower as the center, an extremely terrifying explosion erupted. The torrent formed by the spell swept across the entire lost continent, causing almost all of the humans to die. At the same time, in order to save the magic network, the goddess of magic of that generation chose to sacrifice herself and transform into a new magic network. In the explosion, I saved a portion of the profound puppets and humans, moving them to the shadow world, but that was all I could do. Hearing Ella's words, Li Cheng could not help but gulp. This was too ridiculous. An 11th circle spell had caused the huge profound empire to collapse. Even the goddess of magic had fallen. How powerful was she? This Featherfall was too dangerous. Li Cheng suppressed the shock in his heart and rubbed Ella's head. You've done well, Ella. Li Cheng's action instantly made Ella's hair stand up again. Don't rub my head. I'm not a child. Hearing this, Li Cheng could not help but laugh. Then, as if he had thought of something, he asked, Ella, I have a question to ask you. Ella said unhappily, What? Are you Featherfall's opponent? Ella puffed up her cheeks and shook her head. It was obvious that she was in a very bad mood. Of course not. Although she hasn't ascended to the divine position, her understanding of the rules of this world is profound, even more than some gods. Hearing this, the comers of Li Cheng's mouth curled up. In that case, were you planning on living and dying with me? Ella was silent. Chapter 269, Forbidden Mage Mythical Set. Ella did not know how to answer him for a moment. Her eyes were a little evasive, and no one knew what she was saying. Ah! How is this possible? She coughed dryly and quickly said, Don't flatter yourself. This is just a clone of mine. If I die, I'll only lose some divine power. Li Cheng took a step forward and asked, Is that so? Ella subconsciously took a step back. What do you want to do? Li Cheng smiled and did not answer. He said speciously, Do you think I'm stupid? Don't you think I can tell whether a god's real body is a clone or not? Ella was too stunned to speak for a moment. She just puffed her cheeks up and did not say anything. However, her face became even pinker. When Li Cheng touched her head before, he already felt that something was off because it felt too real. It did not feel like a clone's head at all. He had also interacted with so many goddesses before, but he had hugged a few goddesses before. Only the goddess of space and Trelafani. Li Cheng shook his head and looked at Ella with a spirited gaze. This little girl had used her real body to save him. Naturally, Li Cheng had to respond to this friendship. Thinking of this, Li Cheng tried to hold Ella's little hand. Ella, have you ever thought of finding someone to spend the rest of your life with? Ella rolled her eyes at Li Cheng. Spend the rest of her life with him? TM a god, okay. An immortal existence, okay. Although she thought so in her heart, the hand that was being held by Li Cheng did not move away. At this time, Li Cheng did not speak. The two of them just held hands quietly. Sometimes, words could not be used to speak of certain things. The two of them just stayed quiet for a while before Ella left. It was not because she was ashamed, but she could not stay with Li Cheng any longer. The main problem was that if the true body of a god appeared in the main plane for a long time, it would anger the god of creation. Hence, Ella had no choice but to return to her divine kingdom. After sending Ella away, Li Cheng thought about his future path. What happened this time was really beyond his expectations. The most intuitive feeling he had was that the mystery in his heart had become even more mysterious. Since Lillian was a shadow dragon, why did she not save Ella in her previous life? With Lillian's personality, Li Cheng could be sure that she would never leave Ella to die. There was also something strange about Featherfall. Such a powerful existence, why had she been guarding a lonely mage tower for thousands of years? She had given him a mission to become a god within 3 months, but it had far exceeded Li Cheng's original expectations. In his previous life, until Li Cheng died, no player had become a god, and during the 3 months, the players were still fighting with wild monsters. How could they have the strength to do so? Thinking of this, his plan had to be brought forward. This was directly related to his life. Li Cheng did not have the confidence to survive in the hands of Featherfall, so the concerns that he had previously thought about were currently thrown to the back of his mind. Li Cheng shook his head. There were some things that he could not figure out for the time being, so he did not want to think about it. Anyway, his goal was to continuously become stronger. Thus, he opened his skill pane. Energy Deconstruction. Level, Max. Effect: when all units attack an energy body below mythical grade, the enemy will be instantly killed. Proficiency, Max. Elemental Deconstruction. Level, Max. Effect: when all units attack an energy body below mythical grade, the enemy will be instantly killed. Proficiency, Max. Life Deconstruction. Level, 10. Effect: when all units attack an energy body below mythical grade, the enemy will be instantly killed. Cost: 10,000 mana points. Cooldown: 3 days, cannot be reduced. Proficiency: maxed out. Seeing these 3 skills, Li Cheng's pupils constricted. Was this not a little too strong? With the first 2 skills, all of his troops could instantly kill all mythical grade energy forms and elemental forms. This meant that even if he recruited a tier 1 trash soldier, he could instantly kill a mythical grade powerhouse of the maximum level. Li Cheng felt that it was a little ridiculously strong. After all, there were countless special planes in this universe, such as the fire plane, the earth plane, the water plane, the gold plane. Overall, there were still quite a lot of energy bodies and elemental bodies in existence. Thinking of this, Li Cheng's eyes flashed with a dangerous light. If he went to these planes now, he could completely crush them with these 2 skills. As for the 3rd skill, it was for life forms. As long as he used 1000 mana points, he would be able to instantly kill a mythical grade unit. Although the cooldown period for this skill was long, the advantage was that the mana consumption was not that high. Finally, it was his reward from Featherfall, the mythical grade mage set. Forbidden Mage's Robe, Mythical. Description: a mage's robe made of an unknown material, flowing with extremely rich magic energy. Grade: Mythical, Tier 1. Type: Hero Equipment, only for Forbidden Mages. Part: Top. Level: 40. Attributes: 1. Vitality and Spirit plus 3000. Attributes: 2. Forbidden Power, Magic Damage plus 1000%, Magic Damage caused by troops plus 200%. Attribute: 3. Mana Fluid, purifies oneself every 2 seconds and removes all debuffs. Attribute: 4. Unlimited Growth, this equipment increases with player Netherworld's level. Forbidden Mage's Boots, Mythical. Description: boots made of an unknown material, flowing with extremely rich magic energy. Grade: Mythical, Tier 1. Type: Hero Equipment, Forbidden Mage class only. Part: Boots. Level: 40. Attribute 1, Agility and Strength plus 2000. Attribute 2, Magic Tracking, magic skills and items will hit the target. Attribute 3, Unlimited Growth, this equipment increases with player Netherworld's level. Forbidden Mage Gloves, Mythical. Description: gloves made of an unknown material. Extremely rich magical energy flows within. Grade: Mythical, Tier 1. Type: Hero Equipment, Forbidden Mage class only. Location: gloves. Level: 40. Attribute 1, Intelligence plus 5000. Attribute 2, Unlimited Firepower, for all magic skills, cooldown period reduced by 90%. Attribute 3, Unlimited Growth, this equipment increases with player Netherworld's level. Forbidden Mage Belt, Mythical. Description: a belt made of an unknown material, which flows with extremely rich magic energy. Grade: Mythical, Tier 1. Type: Hero Equipment, Forbidden Mage class only. Location: belt. Level: 40. Attribute 1, Intelligence and Spirit plus 2000. Attribute 2, Unlimited Storage, an almost unlimited storage space. Attribute 3, Forced Transfer, units below mythical grade can be forced into the belt's space. Cooldown period lasts for 3 days. Attribute 4, Unlimited Growth, this equipment increases with player Netherworld's level. Chapter 270, Large-Scale World Event, Angel or Demon. Forbidden Mage Gauntlet, Mythical. Description: gauntlet made of an unknown material, flowing with extremely rich magical energy. Grade: Mythical, Tier 1. Type: Hero Equipment, Forbidden Mage class only. Location: Gauntlet. Level: 40. Attribute 1, Vitality and Intelligence plus 2000, Defense plus 50%. Attribute 2, Forbidden Body, Tyrant Body Effect plus 99,999, all control effects duration decreased by 99%. Attribute 3, Unlimited Growth, this equipment increases with player Netherworld's level. Set Attribute: Forbidden Mage Set, 5/5. 1 5-dimensional plus 8000, cooldown decreased by 50%. 2. Magic Attack plus 500%. 3. All skill books below Immortal-grade will be successfully learned. 4. Divine Power. Forbidden Heavenly Wheel. 5. 6 222. The attributes of each piece of equipment were very good on their own. This increase in attributes would probably be something that other players would never be able to achieve in their entire lives. Putting everything else aside, just in terms of strength alone, Li Cheng already had tens of thousands of points. If he were to hit something with his staff, just the physical damage alone would be very impressive. The skills that came with each equipment were also quite ridiculous. For example, the belt came with infinite storage space. The backpack that the system prepared for players had a limit, just like the resources in Li Cheng's territory. Now, he could carry everything he owned around with him. Li Cheng narrowed his eyes and looked not too far away. There was a slender, elegant angel floating midair. It was clearly a female angel. She had a pair of pure white angel wings on her back, and her entire body was wrapped in a golden armor. Her figure was graceful and elegant. In her hand was a flaming holy sword that was emitting flames. Seeing this, Li Cheng immediately cast a detection spell. Blazing Angel Triss. Description: a powerful blazing angel from the astral world. Her strength has already reached immortal grade. However, in order to have faith in her heart, she has been sacrificing her life for kindness. Grade: Immortal. Level: 200. CHP. Physical/magic attack. Defense. Skills: Angel Body, Supreme Astral World Blessing, Raging Flame Judgment, Evilness Retreat. Seeing the information of this angel, the corner of Li Cheng's mouth twitched. This little lowly really knew how to cause trouble. This was clearly a terrifying immortal blazing angel. The angels in the Lost Continent were extremely powerful existences. They lived in the astral world, and most of them had kind souls combined with the astral world's energy. A few of them were even created by powerful gods. However, there was a reason why the blazing angels were particularly known. There were only 24 of them in the entire Lost Continent, and they served the most powerful kind god in the entire world. Although Li Cheng did not know which god the blazing angels served, he was certain that the little lowly was definitely no match for the blazing angel, since she was a genuine immortal existence. However, for the sake of their faith, they still chose to serve their own god. The blazing angel's health bar had already dropped below half. From this, it could be seen that this little lowly Tyavanas was not being beaten up. Suddenly, the blazing angel caught sight of Li Cheng's troops. Human. Seeing the blazing angel greet them, Li Cheng replied, "Great blazing angel, I'm the Duke of the Church of Light. May I be the judge of this demon king's spawn?" The blazing angel hesitated for a moment, but in the end, she shook her head. "The daughter of the demon king's too cunning. Human, let me be the judge of evil." Hearing this, a hint of disappointment flashed in Li Cheng's eyes. Finally, he took a deep breath, as if he had made a decision. "If that's the case, then don't blame me for being impolite.